I have had many regrets in my life. I always used to wonder how my life would have been if I made different decisions. When I was in elementary school, I lived in Japan, like any other ordinary Japanese kid. The difference was that I knew the environment wasn't for me. Emphasizing only academic achievements, the Japanese curriculum forced me to go to Crown School daily after school for 5 additional study hours. The pressure to go beyond my current grade level and be admitted to an elite private school was an excruciating burden. Knowing that I was not in an environment where I could excel, I made a pivotal decision to study in the UK. At 11 years old, my impulse was telling me that I needed to get out of Japan and go to a Western society where a different ideas were more accepted. Once I got to Britain, however, I felt isolated. I was the only Japanese student in the entire school, and I had only learned English for 4 months at the time. Having a hard time expressing myself in a strange country, I had to go out of my way to make my voice heard despite the language barrier. I went abroad where different opinions are more accepted, but I wish there was someone who could represent my voice. This was when I fell into the spiral of what ifs. Although I made decisions I thought were right for me at the time, I often wondered what my life would have been like if things were a little bit different. In Japan, I wished I had started going to Crown School at a younger age. When I got to Britain, I wished I started studying English earlier. As I struggled to fit into a new society, I wondered what would have happened if I just held on for a little bit more and went to middle school in Japan. But when I moved to America, I was determined to change my attitude. I was no longer going to hang out to the past parallel worlds I had imagined in my head. I decided to work as hard as I could to not regret anything in the future. I worked hard in school to be the best student I could be. Despite my language barrier and the lack of cultural resources, I worked hard to acculturate into my new home. The result quickly showed in my grades. At the same time, I started studying Japanese again to not lose my Japanese identity. Because I regretted not continuing tennis, I picked up my now new favorite, extracurricular sport, martial arts. I made intentional choices so as to not have regrets in the future. Now I am happy with who I am and what I have done in high school. I don't regret going to Britain anymore either. I know it made me a stronger person and my English improved greatly. I couldn't have been as independent if I had decided not to go. Through many monumental decisions I've made, and through living through these decisions, I have learned that despite being careful, there might be decisions that may seem regrettable. But I believe that even if the decision feels wrong at first, working through it can produce an invaluable aspect of my life. There's always a lesson hidden behind decisions, good or bad. It just takes a little bit more examining to do. I could have chosen to keep looking at my decisions negatively. I could have wallowed in my pool of regret and stopped endeavoring. But in the face of the decision of how to see life, I intentionally view them in a more positive light. You alone can decide how to look at your own life, either positively or negatively. How you narrate your story ultimately decide how those events affect you. With this lesson in my mind, I will keep moving forward, making intentional decisions, and perceiving them as positive opportunities for growth. Thank you. Shout out Mrs. Van Jett. You're the best math teacher I've ever had. Thank you for being so caring and helpful. I want to be like you when I grow up. Mr. Rama, thank you for putting up with random conversations we have in physics too. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have taken 2 years of physics here. Miss Hagee, you've helped me grow as a person and become who I am today in RHP. Thank you for being there for me when I needed help. To my family, Thank you for always supporting me no matter what, from going to school in Britain and coming here for high school. I could have not survived without your help. Matthew and Connie. I have shared so many classes with you guys since 9th grade, and my school life wouldn't have been the same without you. Thank you for putting up with me. Ashley and Jenny, you guys are like my little sisters. Thank you for making me laugh and smile no matter what. Jessica, I find it amazing that we're still so close, despite our lack of texting skills. Thank you for always dealing with my weirdness. Yet you're very talented, and I cannot wait to see what you will accomplish in the future. Ali, Riley, and Maya, I'm glad I got to know you guys better this year. I cannot wait to make more memories with you guys before graduating. Henry, words cannot describe how thankful I am for you. You have taught me how to love myself and put up with my ups and downs. I always feel at peace when I'm with you. I cannot wait to see how the future holds for us and go on more food adventures with you. I love you with all my heart. And thanks for coming, Josh.